Ah, but then she dies. Now who's in control of the house? Not you. Now it's the son-in-law that's in control. And I've had a situation where I've had a lady come to me explaining what happened to her. And that is 6 months after her daughter's funeral, there was a knock on her door, and there's her son-in-law. Now, this happened to be the person she said many times to when her daughter was alive, I wish you would have never married my daughter. Well, now that son-in-law is in control. And what is he doing on a Saturday morning, knocking on her door? Announcing that he has sold her home, that he is going to have the new people move in tomorrow, and that he's here to help her move. And she looks out in the driveway and she sees a moving van and two burly guys. And the son-in-law says, don't worry, Mom, I have found a place for you to rent that you can move to a mile away. That is a problem of losing control. If for no other reason you want to find a better strategy than outright gift to your daughter. So you don't want to lose control, and also you don't want your daughter to have a tax bill. And again, tax law is very difficult to understand. There's 400,000 rules. You really want to have an expert on your side as you work your way through these issues to make sure that you're getting the best strategy to protect your home. And again, what we call that is the right to change your mind agreement. From your side, from the parent's side, it is strictly a document. Sign up some documents, and I like to say it's like waving a magic wand over your home and it's protected. That's what the document does, and you stay in total control and you can help your children. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful solution.
At what age should I be where I would start thinking about doing planning to protect my home?
Well, we start planning to protect the home. Our recommendation is at 60. You're approximately 20 years away from a nursing home on average, 20 years away from needing long-term care. But we like starting that process at age 60. And we've had people do it as young as 45, but around age 60 is a good time to be starting the process. And we encourage people to do it, especially when you can do it with just paperwork, and it avoids the probate process, so that's a wonderful solution, and you have your home protected. So I say to people, what are you waiting for? Let's do it now.
Okay, good information. What about my financial assets? I've got, a bank account, some stocks, some bonds, some CDs. What type of planning do I want to do to think about protecting those assets from a nursing home situation?
That's very, very important to do. And my experience over doing this planning for 40 years, you look at it and say, do I want to give up control? To protect financial assets, I have to have them out of my name, okay? Putting them into the trust we talked about earlier, which is an estate planning trust. That is a trust that's designed to get me assets anytime I want it. I can just pull them out of there. That gives us no protection. All the assets inside that kind of a trust would have to be spent on care. So here what we're looking at is strategies to protect your financial assets. For those people that are comfortable, this we recommend starting at age 65 when you get retired. But many of my clients don't want to lose control to young children at age 65. So we see them waiting sometimes until they're 70, even 75 to do this planning. The negative is you have to have the assets out of your name. So we look at solutions as gifting. Earlier you heard me say you don't want to use gifting as a strategy when you're in the nursing home. But here, if we have enough time in advance, we encourage gifting. So if we're doing planning when you're not in the nursing home, we seriously looked at gifting as a strategy. And then if not, we do spending. And if not spending, then we do investing. Okay, investing the way we had talked about earlier, investing in a manner that does not produce a countable asset. And there are investments like that that we use that do not count as an asset. Again, if we plan in advance, we can protect 100% of your assets. If we wait until you're in, we can still protect approximately $100,000 per person. So if it's a widow, we're talking about protecting $100,000. If it's a married couple, we're talking about potentially protecting $200,000, maybe even more. Well, remember, when we're in and widowed, it's impossible to protect the house. We then have to look at a sale of the house as opposed to using the right to change your mind agreement. So it's always better to plan in advance than to wait for somebody to be in a nursing home or assisted living. So again, hopefully this has been some helpful information for not only you, but our listening audience and those out there watching us on TV. Again, I'd like to thank you for participating in this conversation today, Sam, and I'd like to thank the audience for taking the time to view this presentation. Thank you again.